Jake225 followed. Well, good day, good day, good day. Welcome to it. It is, I forgot to change that. There's always something that you forget to do. Welcome to Player One versus Player Two. I am Logan Radio Rocks, and of course, my counterpart, our woodsy neighbor to the north, my good friend, your good friend, and of course, Facebook gaming partner, and one of the founders, if not the only founder, of House of 1,000 Streamers. What is up, House of Hydra?
Holy wow, what an intro. I can't even I don't even think my family says nice things like that about me. I'm gonna come back here more often, more than just every 2 weeks. How's that going, everybody out there? I hope you guys were able to get on the old Spotify and see and download the last one that we had. That was Player One versus Player Two's first episode. I was talking a little bit about us, what was going on, where we're headed, what we're doing, how we grew up, and what kind of our influences were. But we decided to keep this kind of going as almost like a part two. And the biggest thing that we all thought about was as we're growing up as kids, what did you do? Where did you go? What was your mornings like? What shows did you watch? What cereals did you eat? What did you want to do when you went to the store? What candy did you want to get? We're going to answer all those questions. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of old things like that. and we're going to get right into the skinny of it. So I'm going to ask Logan this one question right off the hop.
All right, shoot, go for it.
Okay. Pajamas.
Yeah,
what kind of pajamas when you were a kid?
Okay, so footy pajamas, man. All right, I had the pair. This pair of light blue footy pajamas. They were my world, my absolute world at like 5 or 6, man. And they zipped all the way down the front like that, right? And so there was this one time where I was in the bathroom, man, and I'm zipping down, and I've got to take a poop. A child poop, you know, tummy is bubbling, gurgling, you know, and I'm zipping down, I'm zipping all the way down, brew dog, I'm zipping down, and I catch what at that time is not a very large, and still to this day not a very large thing, but I happened to catch my male member in the zipper of my footy pajamas. Yeah.
The old skin flute. Yeah, okay.
I'm like 5 or 6, man, and I've caught my penis in my footy pajamas, but I still got to take a real bad poop, right? So at a very young age, I'm forced to make a decision between something that I love, my footy pajamas, and my penis. And I'll tell you, we were throwing out my footy pajamas very shortly after that, because I pooped those footy pajamas because I was not ripping or tearing or any of that stuff down there with my male member. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. We threw out my footy pajamas, but I'll tell you this. I did, as a child, learn what it was like to stomp a little bit in your own poop, because guess what? They were footy pajamas, and it.
You know what I was just thinking?
Happened.
You know what I was just thinking? You know what a dude in a construction site gets like hit by a saw, and the saw goes into his arm, and they're like, "You can't pull the saw off, man. We got to take you to the hospital."
Yes.
I can just picture you having, your wiener's hanging down, and you got like this, the zipper's there. You've cut around it. You've carried on with the poop, but now you've got this. You got to leave it in there. I'm sorry, son. You got to leave it in there.
It was a very gentle thing. It was not. I don't remember any like. It wasn't a Band-Aid pulling off, where you just rip that bad boy off. No, we didn't do that with the Band-Aid so much as it was a very gentle pull down. Yeah. So
that's the. Do you call for help at that moment?
I did call for mom. I definitely called for mom, but I think it was dad who came to the rescue. I think mom opened up the door, took one look in, and went, "Frank, this one's up. This one's for you. this one's your arena, champ. Why don't you come on in and take care of your son over there? Hey, Amber. Amber Lee's in the place to be."
I can't wait to get there. See, now I have one more question before I'll tell you my embarrassing memento of childhood. But now that footsie that you had there, was that self-chosen by yourself, or was that parental guidance on that choice? Were you a footy guy? Did you actually like, I need my footsie to go to sleep?
I don't know. I don't remember asking for or how I received them, but I do remember them being a prized possession of mine. I don't really remember how I got them, but I do remember thinking to myself, I'm gonna have these for the rest of my life. I'm going to have these for the rest of my life. So footy pajamas were awesome. They are awesome. Unfortunately, though, I guess what we really learned from the footy pajama story is not so much about the fact that I poop footy pajamas, is more along the lines of I had the zipper down the front. Well, you know what? You're going to need a butt flap. I think you're just gonna always need a butt flap.
I thought they had butt flaps, didn't they? Like the farmer's butt flap.
Mine did not. Big buttons. Mine did not have a butt flap. No butt flap in mine, man. No butt flap in mine.
I had a bigger problem than that. Like our pajamas weren't that bad, but I felt like my parents really decided what I was wearing when I was younger. So like either I had like David Dukes, like Davy Dukes pajama shorts that were really way too short.
No, we didn't have
times?
those. The only David Duke in America is a white supremacist guy who ran for office a lot. He was a member of the Ku Klux Klan as our Davy Dukes. So no, we didn't have those as a kid here in the States.
my parents would make choices. They'd be like, he's gonna be warm tonight. He needs to wear shorts tonight, or like, he's gonna be cold. He needs to be bundled up in like the longest like flannel 3-piece outfit.
They made those decisions for you. That's very nice. I like that.
I have no idea why they made those. Well, I think they laid the pajamas out. You'd walk into the room and you're either hip or you're not hip, or you're gonna boil or you're not gonna boil. You're gonna freeze to death. But it felt like they made the choices back then. So now I was looking at my kids, and my son, he's 3, and he goes to go to bed, and I hear my wife from the other room yell, "It's gonna be hot. Put him in shorts."
Put him in the shorts. The ones with the pleats, or the sailboats.
Yeah. I had to say one thing right before I came downstairs. I always say, the family's going out to go do their thing right now while we do this podcast, and I'm standing in the living room, and my wife walks up to me, and this is what she does. I'm not even joking. She points at my hat, yells, and runs. I have no idea what is going on, so I throw my hat off my head and I yell, "What's on my head?" And she's like, "A spider!" And then I look down at the ground, I see the spider starting to go away because I was working in the garage before I came in here. And but I looked at her and I was like, do you understand that you didn't even tell me what was on my hat? You just pointed and ran and screamed and ran away. I could have had something could have killed me, and you're gone. I had to ask you what was on my head.
Well, she wanted no part of what was on your head. She made the smart decision. She got out of the room. I can appreciate her aggressive running away tactic. That's kind of how I view when I play COD. If my team's in the shit and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go in the other direction. I'm gonna stay alive for the betterment of all of us.
Betterment of everything. So we go back, we say that, we tell our kids what to do and stuff like that, but I think one of the only freedoms we truly really had was, for me it was, my parents would say, yeah, you guys can go watch TV. And I do it for my kids now, but that was our freedom. Like, honestly, my parents, they were great. They watched what we watched, but they didn't know what they weren't really paying attention to the cartoons I was watching. And some of those cartoons in the morning, man, were amazing. Like, you could, G.I. Joe was huge. I don't know how often if you were a big G.I. Joe, but I was like G.I. Joe, He-Man, Masters, and Skeletor. Like everything was Skeletor. I loved He-Man. So it was such a great time.
He-Man was awesome. He-Man, and by the way, thank you, Smooth Boy. I truly appreciate you, bud. He-Man and Thundercats. I remember those being back to back, I believe, when I was a kid, and those were just amazing to watch. He-Man and Thundercats, and you know what? They tried to redo Thundercats a couple times now. They're actually going to try to redo it one more time. They've literally, I think, redone Thundercats twice already, and they haven't really knocked it out of the park yet. But they're trying again, one more time with Thundercats. But here's the thing about what's happening with He-Man. Kevin Smith just finished redoing He-Man.
I know, I heard.
I'm excited about that. I mean,
I love it. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think Kevin Smith touch is pretty to the point of what history was.
Yeah, he's gonna crush it.
But there's so many other shows out there that, like, is there going to be a She-Ra spinoff? Do you think he would do a She-Ra spinoff?
No, well, somebody else will. I think he would. I don't think he would do it, but I mean, if this works, then yeah, there will be a She-Ra. But at this point, I don't feel like they've brought back any cartoons from the yesteryears and it actually be successful.
No.
The
Super Mario Brothers?
Animaniacs is apparently good. What? There was a Super Mario Brothers cartoon?
There was a Super Mario Brothers cartoon.
I don't remember that. I remember a Pac-Man cartoon. I remember Pac-Man. I remember what were those? The Snorks? Yeah, the Snorks.
Yeah, the Snorks. Yeah. There was Teddy Ruxpin. Remember Teddy Ruxpin?
I do remember Teddy Ruxpin. I never had a Teddy Ruxpin. Never had one.
Those are creepy. Think about that. Think about nowadays if people were to tell people to buy a Teddy Ruxpin, nowadays people are so paranoid. They'd be like, "There's a camera in there. The government's watching us." Back in the '80s, they're like, "Is it going to keep my kids busy? Am I going to be able to show this in front of my kids for an hour?" And they'll shut up.
Yeah, Teddy Ruxpin, basically, if you don't know what Teddy Ruxpin was, you had stories on a cassette tape, and you would put the cassette tape into Teddy Ruxpin, and he would tell you the story. He was a little animatronic bear, and a very, very creepy bear. Highly recommend you look up a commercial for Teddy Ruxpin. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Teddy Ruxpin commercial sunk into there.
There probably is. If you found a legit Teddy Ruxpin nowadays, it would be worth a lot of money. And there was a female version, but it was never as cool. But they made a show, but it also had this talking caterpillar. I don't know if you remember. It was like a talking caterpillar in the Teddy Ruxpin show. It was his partner. Creepy as shit. Super creepy. But there were tons of shows back then that also had tons of creepy.
Here's the Super Mario Brothers cartoon, by the way, that you're talking about right now. Is going on right now in the background.
There you go. It was based off of Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yes.
That's what it was based on. There it is right there. There's the final, guys.
And Super Mario Brothers 3, I think, was probably... Super Mario 64 is my favorite, but Super Mario 3 was when shit got real. And Super Mario 3 was when Nintendo really started to take over the world and started to push away from Sega. To push away from it. Because, you know what, they started promoting stuff like the video game tournaments and whatnot. And then they used that movie to promote Super Mario Brothers 3 and the video game tournaments and the Power Glove all simultaneously. The Wizard with Fred Savage.
Yes.
That promoted everything wrapped up into one little ball.
But there were so many things that they interlinked with. Look at morning cereals. There was the Super Mario Brothers cereal. There was Super Mario. I remember there was everything. There were animal crackers that were Mario Brothers. Okay. Like you couldn't move around back then. Mario was the biggest thing. You never saw Sonic the Hedgehog as much as you saw Mario back in the 90s or 80s.
You didn't. You're absolutely right. Because Mario was making the money. Mario was the biggest thing for Nintendo. I mean, just huge for Nintendo, to such a point that when PlayStation was launching the freaking PlayStation, when Sony was launching the PlayStation, they wanted to come up with some kind of character, and the guys who developed Crash Bandicoot was like, yo, here's Crash Bandicoot, make him your Mario. It never really, Crash never really became the Mario. No. But they were thinking in that frame of mind, we need a Mario.
They do need, and you're right. Mario was on Mad Magazine.
Yeah, I still
everywhere.
get Mad Magazine. I still have a subscription to Mad Magazine. What's up, everybody? Yeah,
I get High Times.
Smoke weed every day.
It's true. You get High Times. I get Mad Magazine.
High Times.
Together we're a good time. Stoned, man. You know. They still make it. Yes, it's in full color, except for when they redo art or show you articles from the past or whatever. It's in color, and it only comes, there's only 6 of them a year now. There's only 6 of them a year. Yeah, they still make it. One of the first things as an adult I did when I got into radio was I subscribed to Mad Magazine because I figured it would be good for freaking content back when I was on the radio. And back when I was on the radio, you can't write too much stuff off on taxes these days anymore in the States, but when I was on the radio back in the day, man, you could write everything off. Everything. Mad Magazine subscription, wrote it off. Entertainment Weekly, wrote it off. My haircuts, wrote it off. Oh, I went to the movies, wrote it off. Oh, my sneakers, guess what? No, didn't write those off. But
I didn't write those off.
No, didn't write those off. But I wrote off a lot of stuff, is what I'm saying.
I never had the probability of being able to write off a pair of sneakers. I don't think anybody. I've written off boots, work boots.
Yeah, but
never sneakers. But you know what? Those, like the Mario saga, we'll say, because that's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's probably one of the biggest sagas that you'll ever see. It's still strong as ever. Someone drops a new Mario game, You want it.
They're gonna go back.
Have you noticed
crazy.
that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't care.
Zelda's the same thing. I think Zelda has fan fury as well, and they are dropping a new Zelda game coming up. Which is your favorite Zelda game out of all the Zeldas? Which is your favorite?
Probably gonna be Orc of Time.
Yeah, Orc of Time is the best.
Or the Super Nintendo, A Link to the Past.
Right. That's the exact Orca, and then Link to the Past is my one and two.
those are the best. But the thing was here. Is there a bad Mario? Is Paper Mario the worst Mario?
I've never played Paper Mario. You know why?
Okay, there you go. Maybe
it sounded like shit. Why would I play it?
But is Paper Mario he does have a bad one? But no, even if you were to say what's the worst Mario game, people still cringe to say something bad about Mario. They still won't.
There's nothing bad to say about Mario, and Smoothbore agrees with us, by the way. Ocarina of Time, Ocarina of Time #1, and then Link to the Past is #2, because Link to the Past was absolutely amazing.
Majora's Mask wasn't bad, but
no, it wasn't bad.
I played the new one on the Nintendo Switch, and
it's cool, but what's really frustrating about the game itself is that every weapon or every shield or anything that you get, at some point, no matter what it is, will destroy itself. It will destruct, which is super frustrating. So if you go all the way and go get that whatever the best sword in the game is, at some point that sword's you're gonna have to go get it again or whatever. Like I don't understand that. That's super frustrating. Why would you do that to me? Actually made me stop playing the game, because I was like, well, then what's the point? Because the point of the game is getting the best sword so you can kick the shit out of everybody.
That's right.
But if I'm gonna get that sword and then it's just gonna freaking
Fun with Numbers.
Fun with Numbers was there a Mario Fun with Numbers?
Wow, I don't even know what a Fun with Numbers Mario.
Yeah, there was a Fun with Numbers Mario. Oh my god.
There was a morning show, or was it an afternoon show? It was the Mario show with real humans playing Mario. The one guy looked like Lou from wrestling.
Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah,
Captain Lou Albano.
It might even have been him.
The Rock Wrestling Connection,
Wait a second. Mario TV show. It was really bad. Like they used to always do these side running. So it had the cartoon, and it was them. They were like the hosts of the show, and the actor. Let's see here. Oh man, it was only 13 episodes.
Of course, it only went for one season, because that's
1991.
1991. All right.
So let me just see here if I can figure out who Walker Boone was Mario. Never mind. And Tony Rosato was Luigi. So a couple E-class actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did their careers go after that?
Yeah. But you got to see these guys, like they were the epitome of what Mario and Luigi would look like as human beings. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely. So I don't know. Like they did a good job. Like, I don't know why everybody knocked back in the 80s and 90s. They compare the movies nowadays to back then, but like Mortal Kombat we talked about.
Right.
I think the original Mortal Kombat is still better than the new one. I know, changed my mind.
Oh,
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to try to change your mind. They're two different movies. I'm not trying to compare those two movies. Here's the deal, is Mortal Kombat, the original movie, was the best video game 90s movie that you could ask for. If there was an Oscar for 90s video game movies, Mortal Kombat gets it. Okay, what they did with this reboot of Mortal Kombat was they made it not a video game movie. It's not a video game movie. The first one was a video game movie. This is just a Mortal Kombat movie, okay? So that's where I'm gonna go with that. It's, is a hot dog a sandwich? That's basically what this Mortal Kombat that's basically what this Mortal Kombat question comes down to.
There was a Mortal Kombat TV series?
No, I didn't know that. 1998,
they called it Mortal Kombat Quest.
Mortal Kombat Quest. All right, and here you go.
Oh, sorry, Conquest.
Well,
terrible.
Smoothbore, makes a very good point. Is it just nostalgia that this shit is better? No, because actually, last week House of Hydra showed me a clip from Mortal Kombat the original. And you know what? It still stands. It's a good movie. It's a fun way to watch a Mortal Kombat movie.
It's the only way to watch it. Like you you have to go back and appreciate the time and what it was. You can't go back and look. You're not going to look for Avatar quality CGI.
No.
You're going to look for. Back then, it wasn't about how good it could look. It was about how accurate to the game it could be. And I'll tell you right now, that movie was more accurate than you'll imagine for the time.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm saying, like,
that's why they
Crash
screwed
Bandicoot.
up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Remember all the commercials, all the Crash Bandicoot commercials. You're right. He was the mascot.
He was the mascot. That's what they were trying to push. I mean, he didn't become Mario, but he is still Crash Bandicoot. Were they talking about making a Duke Nukem movie? Because I would love to watch a Duke Nukem movie. I would love to see that. You know, it'd be awesome if they made a mod for Duke Nukem where Leghorn, he only said
yeah.
Duke Nukem quotes, but as Leghorn Foghorn.
Yeah, I say, boy. I say.
I would love that as a mod.
Yeah, I say. Awesome. I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I say, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I say.
By the way, that quote is it comes up in John Carpenter's what was that movie with Roddy Piper? John Carpenter's They Live, or they. Yeah, They Live.
Oh, he comes out of the bank?
Well, he says that line, and guess what? John Carpenter gives Roddy Piper credit for that line. That line was given to John Carpenter by Roddy Piper. It was one of his lines.
Smooth says, I think John Cena was going to play Duke. It was sworn they were talking about it years ago. Cena, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Did you hear David Batista said he wants to be Marcus, like Gears of War movie?
No, I did hear that he said he wanted to stop doing MCU movies because that dude's got his shirt off all the time and he's just getting too old for that shit, which I completely understand, man. You know, he's like, dude, I don't need to be walking around without my shirt on.
They said that he has to be him, like no one else.
Well, yeah, he's got a contract to fulfill, but yeah, man.
Well, I don't know. I think they do the movies quite well. Like I said, I think they're redoing a lot of stuff from the past, which is nice. But I hope they start picking some of the things that we used to like. I don't want to see the California Raisins come back.
No, Jesus.
And we can't have Camp Candy come back. Remember that one, John Candy?
Yeah.
It was Camp Candy.
He was a Canadian.
You can't have. But remember, there was a show. I want to test you on this.
Right.
If you knew about it, it was called Cop.
What?
It was called Cop. C.O.P.S. Cops. And it was so good. It was ahead of its time, and it was a great show. They only did 2 seasons of it, and it was bad guys and good guys, but it was a whole bunch of different criminals and stuff like that, and it was super fun.
That sounds like a fun show. Show. But
it was a great show.
I want to go back to what got us here, and we were talking about The Wizard, that movie, and how it promoted everything. It actually tied everything into a bow. It promoted Super Mario 3. It promoted the Nintendo tournaments, video game tournaments that they were having.
Yep. And the first esports ever.
Right, the first esports ever, exactly. And it promoted the Power Glove. Now, I never had a Power Glove, and anybody that I've ever talked to says the Power Glove was very underwhelming.
It is. I do have one.
You have
one in storage. Yes, I have one in storage.
Is it in the box like you wanted your Nintendo to be?
No, it's not in the box. I was not able to get a functioning Power Glove. I did have one at one time, but the cord is chafed. Yes, chafed on my Power Glove.
Chafed.
It was not what you think. You didn't have full control with your hand. Like when you watch the trailer for The Wizard, and in that trailer, it shows him using the Power Glove when he's driving left and right.
Right.
Well, it doesn't really work like that.
Okay.
So it's, but I think the whole point was, I remembered as a kid seeing more kids wearing the Power Glove and using the controller because they just wanted to wear the Power Glove.
Yes, exactly. It was cool. You wanted to wear it. You wanted to have it, but the actual using it, not as cool as you would have liked.
It was a status symbol.
It was a status symbol. It definitely was. Now,
Yeah.
Now we have the wizard. We do have the wizard available to us. So, guys, sit back, grab your popcorn and your pop, as you might say up there in Canada.
Yeah.
And here
I'll
is
take a liter of cola.
a liter of cola. We do gallons down here, baby. Pounds, baby, pounds.
I'm just gonna grab one of my old Squeeze-Its. Remember those as a kid?
I do remember those.
You used to tear the top off. I'm gonna drink a Squeeze-It and watch.
Now here's the long trailer for the wizard. I hope you enjoy this. And look out at the very end. There's an Easter egg there. I want to see if you pick up on it. Here we go. Here's the wizard.
Just where do you think you're going, boy?
California.
Though Jimmy is a heavily traumatized boy, he has a certain fixation with building, stacking. I'd like to think that he's searching for a way to express himself.
We're thinking about putting him into an institution.
Well, you want to see that happen? Huh? You want to see him put Jimmy in a home?
That's Christine's decision.
He hasn't changed
come
ever
on,
since
Dad.
Jennifer. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything.
He's a wizard. You want to go to California. And you want to prove that Jimmy doesn't belong in a home. Do you think they put him in a home after he won this? A video game contest. You got 50,000 on Double Dragon? He's good, but he never beat Lucas. Nobody's better than Lucas. Oh, really? Lucas is awesome.
So, you the wizard?
He's headed for the video championships in Los Angeles.
Is that right? Well, let's just see how good he is then. Guys? By the way, I'm headed to the championships too. The Power Glove.
What is that?
Pick any game you want.
You know all 97 of them?
I love the Power Glove.
3 finalists, 1 champion. Who will survive? Video Armageddon.
I
Five,
give you
4,
Video
3,
Armageddon!
2, 1.
Gimme! Jimmy! What? You have 3 contestants! 1, 2, 3! Oh, I hit him!
My son's a fireman.
Jimmy! Super Mario Brothers 3!
The Wizard.
Hey, Lucas, man, that was great. You're gonna rip their gizzards out, man.
Yeah, look, Dark Lips. Why don't you just make yourself useful and give me a cold drink?
All right, did you see it? Did you see it? Hey, Liability, what's going on? And thank you for that follow, Brian.
Oh man.
Oh.
Can you see the magic? That's what I'm talking about. It's not about the CGI. It's about that movie and what brings it all together. If you haven't seen that movie, it's called The Wizard. Called Wizard. And Fred Savage is in it.
Obviously,
And,
Christian Slater was in it too.
Christian Slater
And
was
the dad is Beau Bridges, by the way. That's
Beau
one of the
Bridges,
Bridges guys. Yeah, Beau Bridges. And then at the end there,
Easter egg.
in the Cool Kids group, Spider-Man was there. Freaking Tobey Maguire. Did you guys see
Tobey
that?
Maguire. Did you see that?
A little Toby freaking Maguire, man, just walking on
I
through.
couldn't believe it, man.
With a skater haircut and shit. I didn't know that until I knew that we were gonna be doing this. And then I was like, you gotta be kidding. Yeah, you missed it, Smoothbore, at the end. Yeah, there's a little young Tobey Maguire with a freaking skater haircut. Looking all Tobey Maguire, man.
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
I remember. I remember asking to get that video. We actually. So that's when he used to go to the video store. I know you guys don't know what that is. Some of you guys don't know what that is. We used to go to the video store, Blockbuster, Rogers Video here, and you go down there. But I remember, oh my god, I remember weeks that movie was out. You couldn't get it. And you just had to be lucky. I remember we used to phone the video store and say, can you please call us when someone returns Wizard, or call us when someone returns this or that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was huge. And I remember you'd be sitting at home waiting for someone to come. One of your parents go over, you're just like, can you please take me to Blockbuster? Look at them. Like, what did you just say? Can you please take me to Blockbuster? Look at this. Thank you. Oh my god. And then watch it. You watched movies 4 or 5 times.
The Power Glove was the next Infinity Gauntlet. Listen to that. Yeah, right?
There you go.
Right?
It wasn't what it was cracked out to be, though. Trust me.
It sucks.
Trust me.
And now, Smoothbore says he's still got his Blockbuster card and the 1,000 hours of free AOL disc. Remember those CDs that you used to get in the mail, man? Oh boy!
Oh my God! Those buy what is it? 20 CDs for a penny? Or what is it? Like 100 CDs
House.
a penny?
Columbia House. Yeah, they tried to come after my dad for a bunch of money because all you had to do was change your last name, and they didn't go by addresses for the longest time until they caught on. And also, if you were under 14 years old or 18 years old or whatever, you weren't supposed to be allowed to do this. So I got a lot of free CDs, like 100 or so free CDs, and they tried to charge my dad like $1,000, and he was like, "Yeah, nah, man, you guys are idiots." My freaking 14-year-old son was able to break your little system. Come on.
I remember hours of looking at the stamps, looking at albums. Like that's when, like, you were just so excited because you never remember the Wish Book, stuff like the Wish Book you get from. I don't know if you have that in the States, but in Canada, Sears put out a thing called the Wish Book every year, and that was like all the toys were in the very back.
Yeah,
it was a giant catalog of a department store.
We had a Sears catalog. I mean, that's how I picked out my my Christmas presents for a few years. So yeah.
So they called it a wish book up here. That's what they called it. Made it spectacular for Christmas. We do things a little different here up in Canada in our igloos. But you know, we're more about the Christmas spirit up here than you Americans.
Guys are drunk on that Molson Ice.
Yeah.
Our ABV 22% beer. How do you guys get drunk off of beers, y'all? You got to drink like 24 of them, eh? That's why you're so fat, eh? Because you got to drink all those beers. We get all the alcohol in 24 beers and just this one Molson Ice, eh?
It's one Molson Black Ice.
Right?
Oh my God, Molson Black Ice.
Oh, you got a Canadian, do you? Oh, those are good too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, just a stubby bottle. Actually, but you know, we used to get like all those types of things. Those at the time, like that's what it was, though. I remember seeing all these. You know, there was TGIF Fridays. We used to sit with our parents. Oh, yeah. My dad would sit there with the fucking Canadian or another, you know, whatever he was drinking at the time. I don't remember my mom really drinking. But I do remember my dad having a beer, and we're sitting there watching TGI Friday, and him just going, "What's this shit?"
Yeah, but isn't Friday hockey night in Canada?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. Okay.
Saturday. Yeah, hockey night in Canada.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you're not watching TGI Friday when there's hockey night in freaking Canada.
Well, what was your TGI Friday? What was it? It was
Full House.
Full House.
Family Matters.
Family Matters. Step by Step. I think was in there.
Here's the thing: is I didn't really like sitcoms all that much as a kid.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I did.
What about
watch-
like Family Ties and Growing Pains?
I
You
love
didn't like
Family
those?
Ties and Growing Pains, and I dated for a brief second Mike Seaver's girlfriend who got thrown. Anyways,
What?
Nothing. Anyways, moving on.
Mike Seaver.
Mike Seaver, man,
Mike Seaver.
he is now he's now doing his own thing, man. Don
What
Cherry
about
made
Boner?
What? Boner?
about Boner?
Yeah, what's Boner do? Can you believe
What's
that
Boner doing now?
Growing
Hey, hold
Pains
on.
had a character on the TV show called called Boner? Can you believe that? Dude had a.
I cannot. Yeah, I can't believe they had someone named Boner.
I mean, nowadays, I don't. Well, could you? Yeah, I guess you could. I mean, Family Guy's, I guess, a lot worse. It seems crazy to me that kid's
Let's
name
see.
was Boner. Don Cherry made Carolina an absolute fortune. Don Cherry, of course, being the best dressed hockey host in all of
Yeah.
Canada. Yeah, can you imagine that today? I wonder if you could get
Oh,
away
wow.
with it. I don't know.
Boner died.
Boner died. How did Boner die?
Hold on.
Let's
Wait
find
a
out.
second here.
This is
Whoa,
a more you know
what's
moment.
going on here? Boner for the film, Batman Dead End. He was in that. Tell me how Boner died. I feel real bad. Keep saying Boner.
Yeah, I know. A flaccid boner, that is sad, I know. But no, it's okay because
There
he
it
got
is,
he
yeah.
got rigaboner, so he got stiffened. Oh,
Cell phone collected in a bank. Found him dead in a Vancouver Stanley Park. He apparently hanged himself in Stanley Park.
Jesus.
Yikes. That turned dark real quick.
Wow. All right. In the park.
Wow.
In the park outdoors. Go. Wow. All right. Did he leave a note?
Wow. Out of all the characters to pick to talk about, I
Right.
had to pick Boner.
Hey, let's talk about Boner. It'll be comical.
Wait a second. But you know who else was on Growing Pains? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leo
Yeah.
was on Growing Pains. Yes, Leo was on Growing Pains.
Leo was on Growing Pains.
Yes.
There were tons of 80s sitcoms. Cosby Show, can't talk about it.
Yeah, well, I love the Cosby Show. Can't talk about it.
Oh my gosh. I love the Cosby Show. Can't talk about it. Can't talk
Freaking
about
awesome. O.J. Simpson was a great football player. Can't talk
it.
about
Can't talk about it. How about one of the most world-renowned fathers and how well he's done and how respected he is for the people he's played.
So we are going to talk
Al
about
Bundy.
Bill Cosby?
Al Bundy.
Oh, yeah. Ed
Al
Harris,
Bundy.
right? No, that's not Ed Harris.
No, what's his name? Ed. What is his name?
It's Ed something.
I got this. I got Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill. Cha-ching.
Ed
There you
O'Neill.
go.
Wasn't David Faustino in a porn? That's something else.
Here's
though.
the thing is, for years, it took me a years to commit to the fact that David Faustino wasn't just Jamiroquai. Or Jamiroquai wasn't David Faustino. Look at Jamiroquai, and then look at David Faustino, and tell me that it doesn't look like David Faustino in an oversized hat.
David Faustino. I want to see if anybody else is.
Because Married with Children was over, and then Jamiroquai came out, and I was like, that's David Faustino, man. In a hat.
Jamiroquai. Hold on, I don't think anybody has put these two in the same room. David Foss. Nope.
No one put him in
but
the
I
same
see
room.
I see the resemblance, but I feel like you're the only person that smoked a lot of dope that night
You know what,
and found
David
that.
Faustino, no one gives a shit about you to put you. That's how little they care about Bud Bundy. Because I made that connection.
I feel like Bull from Night Court is more popular than.
Yo, what happened? Don't look up what happened to Bull. I feel like he's probably
I
not
need to
with
know
us
now,
anymore.
sorry.
I feel like he
He's
might
gotta
not be
be.
with us anymore.
No,
The way that we're going today. No, now you gotta look it up. Now you have to look
This
it up.
is getting dark.
Yeah, this
is
could
getting
get dark.
real quick.
This could be a dark episode, kids.
Hold on. Richard Mall.
Yeah, Richard Mall.
Richard Mall.
Yeah, he was in the movie House 1 and House 2. Great horror movies.
Oh, he's still alive. He's still alive,
Yes!
everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
we-
Richard
we-
Mole, for
yeah.
being alive.
Yeah, we found a living one, everybody.
Good.
We found a living one.
What's he up to?
Yeah, what's he up to?
Well,
Hold
he's
on.
in jail. What did he do?
I just heard, but this is funny. These are all the people that we remember as kids.
Night Court,
Seeing
man.
them on TV shows. I don't know
Marky
if you
Post.
guys.
Marquis Post was one of the first actresses to come out and say that she was the woman on Night Court. She was one of the first women to come out in Hollywood and say that she was a lesbian. She was one of the first.
Post.
Yeah, Marquis Post.
She was not bad to look at.
Oh,
what other movies was she in?
Nothing, but she was hot.
No, she was in movies. She had to have been in movies.
Really? Look it up.
Something About Mary.
Marquis.
Something About Mary.
Marquis Post is in Something About Mary. Okay, sure.
Marquis Post
right,
has been Transformers. I don't know what she did in Transformers.
Sure.
But
Megan Fox's mom. I'm gonna say she was Megan Fox's mom. I have no idea, but that going out on a limb, Megan Fox's mom sounds about right.
I'm gonna say she's been in a bunch of B-list shows.
Were they all on the Hallmark Channel?
No, but you know what was one show that for some reason it felt like an adult show, but it was still okay for kids? I thought was Cheers.
I love.
Do you remember Cheers?
Love Cheers. Was she on Cheers?
She did an episode on Cheers.
Oh, good for her. I loved Cheers, man. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. Bow, 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 and they're always glad you came. Bow, bow, bow. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Is that one of those songs that you feel like you have to get to the da-da-da-dun-dun?
You do have to get to the da-da-da-dun.
You have to?
Yep, you do.
I think everybody knows it. And that's why lots of people won't sing it.
You have to get
because they know they have to get there.
You do. You do.
But as a kid though, I just remembered so many things interlooping more back in the day than they do now. Like, oh God, McDonald's was on the bandwagon for everything. Remember when the Flintstone movie came out? There was the Flintstone burger. There was the Flintstone pizzas. There was the name it.
A lot
there
of
was
famous people in that movie, by the way. John Goodman, Rick Moranis. I don't remember who the females were, but I'm pretty sure they were famous as well.
I'll tell you right now.
Pretty famous.
I'm your man on the street. Rosie O'Donnell was in it. She was Betty.
Wow. All right. And
the other lady, Wilma, Elizabeth Perkins.
All right, yeah.
Wow, yeah, she was. She's in Weeds.
Yeah,
Yeah, the lady from Weeds.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff.
Do you think she ever gets noticed as Wilma?
No, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. But
she's in the supermarket. Someone yells, "Wilma!"
But before we move off of the Flintstones, I just want to talk about something. So there was a lot of stars in the first one, right? Yeah, but then for the second one, you go from John Goodman to Stephen Baldwin. Give me the cast of the second one. Give me the cast of the second one. You go from John Goodman to Stephen Baldwin.
But Stephen Baldwin was Barney Rubble.
Okay.
Kristen Johnson was Wilma. That's the blonde from Third Rock from the Sun.
Okay, all right.
Jane Kowalski, which you would know if you saw her face, was Betty Rubble.
Okay.
Mark Addy was Fred Flintstone. Now, if you're asking yourself, Chris, who's Mark Addy? You know who Mark Addy is.
Okay. Who is Mark Addy?
Do you remember the big guy from the movie The Full Monty?
Yes, I do.
That would be his most reputable role. I would probably, maybe he was in a couple other things, but I would say in The Full Monty, he's in A Knight's Tale. He's the big guy in A Knight's Tale.
Okay.
He's the guy's buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. He's usually like the if you were to go in the list of people to get killed in a movie, he would be fat best friend, so gets killed right before the main guy.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so that's where he would rank.
Man, it's a career, bro. It's a career.
Hey, someone's got to play that guy. Why not own it?
Like I've always said, I may not be leading man material, but I am quirky best friend all day long.
So, would you rather be known as quirky? Do you think that screws you, being quirky best friend?
Adam Brody, I feel like we should ask him. Adam Brody was the guy from the OC, the best friend from the OC, and now is in this show. He's one of the leads in The Startup, and I always felt like that him as a character, like he was always seen as quirky best friend, and not able to get out and play a leading man role because of that.
Let's play a little game here. Let's play a little game here. Let's see how many best friends we can name.
Okay.
From old shows. Okay, I'm gonna go 6 from Blossom. Your turn.
Well, we already
Your turn.
named Boner from Growing Pains.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. So I'll just throw it back at
Okay.
you, though.
Uh,
This is how I win.
this is harder than I thought. So
Yeah, it is.
I guess that would be Steve Urkel
Who's his
for
friend, though?
on Family Matter. Well, it's her. It's the girl.
It's the girl.
They're
What?
friends.
All right, fine. What was the name of the dude who married the oldest daughter on the in the Huxtables family, and now he's bagging
Wait.
groceries.
Theo's friend?
No,
Oh.
no.
Oh no.
I don't.
Who
I'm
is
just
that?
naming sidekicks at this point. Let's.
You're now naming sidekicks?
I don't.
Oh.
I don't even know. You got anybody else?
Well, I have tons. I have Luke Perry for Jason Priestley on,
You have a computer in front of you, and I can see.
I
your
know I
screen.
do. I know. I'll just name anybody from Friends. No, but there were Robin to Batman, the old school Robin to Batman. They were friends.
Yeah,
Would
but
you not say?
I don't. Bert, something or other was his
AC
name.
Slater, Zach Morris, Screech. Who? Perfect Strangers. Who's the best
Balky.
friend? Okay.
I don't think they were
guess
best.
so.
They weren't best friends though. None
But
of
they
these.
became best friends.
Sure, whatever.
I don't think they were. What's her name? Kimmy Gibbler, DJ Tanner.
Okay.
She's quirky. She's funny, right? I would say. That was another show, Full House. You grew up on Full House, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't like it though.
Did you see it?
Yeah, of
You
course
didn't
I
like
watched it? I didn't like it though.
What do you mean you didn't like it? How did you not like it?
I don't.
It
I
had
didn't really. I told
John
you,
Stamos.
I didn't really like
was
sitcoms.
like,
I mean, we watched it, but I didn't really like sitcoms as a kid. I didn't.
Would it be weird nowadays, Big Bang Theory being your sitcom?
I hate
Can you
that
imagine
show.
that?
I mean, it's just a
You don't like
terrible
Big
show.
Bang?
Just terrible.
Really?
It's a show written to make dumb people feel smart.
Is that what it is?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel it is. It's a sitcom written to make dumb people feel smart. I
thought it highlighted nerds.
No,
I felt
no.
like it highlighted the nerd herd.
See, it's tricking you into that. It's tricking you into going, oh, I get the Big Bang Theory, so yeah, because they're all no. If you get Futurama, then you can talk to me.
Well, I get Futurama. I like Futurama. I think Futurama is better than Family Guy. Is that a bold statement?
They're two different types of shows.
But they're not better than The Simpsons. I'm sorry, but The Simpsons is still the best, I think.
Yeah,
I'll
I mean,
argue
it's
that
been
all day
going for
long.
36 years.
No,
or
it doesn't
whatever.
matter about depth. It's about The Simpsons did hidden content in the background
Yeah.
in such a polite manner, opposed to like Family Guy's like in your face raunchy laugh. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
Like that would be the only thing that I think of when I think of those ones. But I also think of, I also like Blue Pepsi. Remember that? Crystal Pepsi.
No.
You never had Blue Pepsi and Crystal
Yeah,
Pepsi?
I tried it. They were terrible.
But I don't. Were they that bad?
Yeah, those I don't ever remember going, ooh, that's good.
I don't like gimmicky stuff, but Crystal Pepsi wasn't bad.
I don't remember having fond memories of either of those. I mean, I can kind of taste Blue Pepsi.
I was probably having pizza Lunchables at the time with my Crystal Pepsi.
My mom wouldn't let me have pizza Lunchables, and she wouldn't let me. We weren't allowed soda, like a lot of soda. I could have Diet Coke because my mom drank Diet Coke, but I wasn't really like. We didn't have Mountain Dew in the fridge or Pepsi or Coke. The only thing we had in the fridge that was a soda was Diet Coke.
No,
and I hated Diet
we didn't
Coke.
have it either. We didn't have it either, but we had special gifts. Like we had special things that, like every once in a while, you get.
No,
I guess.
white grape juice for me. That was the special.
White grape juice.
Yeah. That was it, man. I wasn't allowed. I wasn't
over here
allowed.
at the Wellesley Arms.
Wasn't allowed regular grape juice because it would ruin
spill.
the carpeting.
It
So
would ruin the carpet.
and my mom always said that white grape juice was too expensive, which looking back on it is complete horseshit.
Liars. God, did they ever lie to us? Eh?
Yes, so much.
That's like I wasn't allowed to have Alpha-Getty
Really?
because it was garbage. Yeah, it was garbage. They said I had to just get normal Chef Boyardee. I don't see the difference.
No, there's
It's exactly the same thing. The difference.
It's all crap. I wasn't allowed sugary cereals as a kid, like the sugar. But I say that now. But you know what? My mom just wasn't really on top of it because I was allowed oatmeal Raisin Crisp, which probably was just as bad for you as the other stuff. But like I would have to go to my friend's house, or when my parents were divorced the first time for a couple years and I was young, my dad would let me have like Captain Crunch and shit like that. But I never. Oatmeal Raisin Crisp was like the most sugary cereal I was allowed.
I agree. We were allowed to have mini wheats that had frosting on one side, but they were like, well, it's got bran in it, so the kids will be regular.
Yeah, they're going to be pooping okay. So we've got that working for
as long as their bowel movements are stable, they can have a little bit of sugar.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, so I never cut the roof of my mouth on Captain Crunch unless I was at my friend's house. But you know what? All that stuff was terrible for us anyways. They switched from sugar to high fructose corn syrup and everything tasted awesome and it was terrible for you.
What was your go-to to get around the neighborhood? Was it a big wheel? You have a big wheel?
Yeah, always a big wheel, man.
I never had a big wheel.
No, not one the electronic ones. I'm talking about the tricycle with the foot pedals.
Yeah. I never had one.
Big wheel.
No.
Oh yeah, dude. Used to be able to. You lock those. You get going real fast. You lock those up and do the little spin turnarounds. Woo! Pull a couple freaking donuts in those bad boys. For you pull a couple Tim Hortons in those bad boys.
Can you still buy a big wheel nowadays?
Of course, you can still buy a big wheel. I would buy one for myself right now. I would love a big wheel. I would love a big wheel as a kid. I mean, as an adult.
I think I'm gonna get my son a big wheel.
You should get your son a big wheel.
How big do you have to be?
You know what? These are all questions for the internet. I bet you they can answer them for you.
I feel like I'd rather take our shady advice from each other.
All right. So I think that you should just buy the smallest one and let him work it out. Big kid in a little big wheel.
I feel like I need to modify it though. I need one that's modifiable. Oh, Radio Flyer, $136 to get one of them in Canada.
What?
$136.
Radio Flyer. You're talking about a wagon, right?
No, this is a big wheel Radio Flyer. They made one.
Oh well, that's not.
These things are expensive, man.
$136. I don't know. I feel like
you're up in the twos. You're up in $200 for a good big wheel.
Wow, really?
Times have changed, friend.
Yes, they have.
Times have changed. See, we didn't have scooters. I don't remember kids really having scooters back in the day.
Yeah, we didn't have scooters.
Rollerblades.
Oh yeah, I had. We played roller hockey every day.
We played roller hockey too.
Every time.
But we had a lot of
That's why
a lot
I
of
said
scooters though. But for big kids maybe.
They've got scooters these days. I don't remember having scooters. Go-kart was something I always wanted as a kid. Always wanted a go-kart. Never quite got one. Always wanted a go-kart.
I think everybody wanted one of those things, but I think what was the go-to? It's too dangerous.
Oh,
you can't drive that on the street.
You can't get a go-kart. You can't get a nothing like that. No.
You can't drive that.
We were too suburban. Like we weren't farm. We were suburbs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was suburbs too. We had a cul-de-sac near us.
Nice. Well, your cul-de-sac, everybody on your cul-de-sac would have loved your big wheel if you had one, or your freaking go-kart if you had one as well. You would have been the coolest kid on the cul-de-sac with those toys.
No, we didn't even live in the cul-de-sac, right? We didn't live in the cul-de-sac, but we used to play hockey in the cul-de-sac. So the people who lived in the cul-de-sac would hate us because they'd be like, "Why are these kids over here?" But they can't say anything because we're trying to be safe.
Right.
So it's like a double-edged sword. You're either going to be an a-hole parent that's going to kick kids out of the cul-de-sac, or you live in a cul-de-sac where kids are always playing. Yeah, because that's what it was.
Yeah, no, I get that. I used to go all the way down to my friend's house every single day, or my friend's neighborhood, I should say, every single day. And they had this great, it wasn't a cul-de-sac, but it was this great, it was a neighborhood inside of a neighborhood. And so the roads got really, like there was no reason to go down that road unless you lived there. So we would all play hockey there. And we played, I mean, that's all we did every day after school for like 4 years.
Was it a dead end street?
No, it wasn't a dead end. It was actually everything, all of the streets in this little neighborhood met where we would play. But no one went down the street unless you were living there, so no one really traversed that.
Except old man McGinty at the end, on the end of the left.
Well, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This was these were people
Creepy?
these were people with pool houses and shit. It wasn't that kind of neighborhood. There was
The
no
creepiest thing near your house. What was the creepiest thing near your house growing up? We had a cemetery.
Wow. No, nothing. I never had any creepy stuff by my house that I remember. No, I don't remember anything really creepy. Man, I always lived in. They were expanding our places. I moved too much, man. I moved 42 times, dude. So, like,
What do you think a kid's old enough to go on Halloween on his own?
oh,
Back in the day, we were young.
13? I don't know.
Oh, I remember being way younger than that.
Oh no, I'm saying if
Walked
I
up
had
down the
kids, I don't. If
If
I
you
had
had
kids, I don't. I
Halloween
wouldn't
was a
let them
great
go.
time.
I wouldn't let them go to Halloween, but whatever. I don't. Junior high is when I started going out on my own. I think maybe 6th grade. So that's
You
middle
think so?
school. So probably maybe 5th grade. I don't know if I went out on my own on 5th grade. I don't remember.
I don't really remember too much, but I just remember it being like, as long as you're on the street, and the street was pretty long, but it was secure. Like, it felt a lot more secure than back then, I guess. And maybe it's because we all knew each other. Like, you knew everybody.
I mean, we kicked the shit out of. There was a kid, Scott Shelley, who got the shit kicked out of him on Halloween when I was in 8th grade, because in 6th grade he held me while another kid beat me up. So yeah, I would have. Then I was definitely on my own. Then
You know what?
Grade.
Stop what we're doing right now. Let's find him. Let's phone him up right now. Get him on a Zoom call.
His name's Scott Rosati. I don't know how to spell that though.
We gotta find him. We gotta bring him onto a show.
I found the kid who was punching me in the face. He about 4 or 5 years ago, he shot his mother's boyfriend and then himself in the middle of a restaurant in Brockton, Massachusetts. So he's not doing too well.
Yeah, well, we don't have to go reparations from him.
No, well, he was the kid. He was the kid. He was the kid who was my bully, who followed me from Brockton, Massachusetts, to Northeastern Massachusetts, and then I stood up to him, and there you go.
I got into a few fights as a kid, but I don't remember wanting to fight. I think everybody knew that they had to do it sooner or later. Some kids were just jacked. I remember doing it, but it was a big event always. Like, people talked about it for days, and then you met somewhere.
Yeah,
like a remote location.
You would always meet somewhere. Yeah, except for this time. When I got held, one kid's name was Robbie, and the other kid was Scott Rosati. But Robbie left after this incident because he got in a lot of trouble from his parents. Because the cops came. These 2 kids held me while another kid just kicked the shit out of me in 6th grade in front of the entire school. The cops actually came. All I could do was spit blood at the kid. He knocked me out on my feet and then woke me back up with a punch, man. It was absolutely insane.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you for your destiny.
You'll remember that one.
Yeah, it was what made me kind of tough. Because after that, I wasn't scared of being punched in the face anymore.
Thank you, sir.
What was the movie where Adam Sandler phones up Steve Buscemi and he says sorry, and he's sitting there and he's putting lipstick on his lips?
That's Happy Gilmore.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Happy? It's Happy Gilmore.
Happy
He's got the lipstick and he's like, he crosses his name out on the thing.
It's either Happy Gilmore or the one where he's Billy Madison. It might have been Billy Madison. But whatever it is, I do remember that. But yeah, it's, that guy, that kid was my bully, and then I became a cool kid in school because once we were getting ready to go to junior high, the girls that were in the older grade from us liked me. They thought I was cool, so then by virtue I became cool.
Because you got your ass handed to you.
No, they never saw. They never saw that. They never saw that. They were older. They were 1 year older, so they were in junior high when I was in 6th grade. They were.
The stories must have resonated about you. Oh, he was huge. He was bleeding everywhere, but he stood up and he walked past them.
I didn't walk past them at all. They were holding me up. All right, Johnny just rated us with 17 viewers. What's going on, everybody?
Man, thanks for the raid. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're just doing our Player 1 versus Player 2 podcast. We were talking this morning about Saturday morning cartoons, some of the cereals we've been eating, the kids growing up, whatever's going on in our lives at that time. A speak and spell. God, I wish I still had a speak and spell. We were talking about that earlier. F you, F you, F you, F you. As a kid, that's all I used to do.
Really? I don't think I had a speak and spell. My friends had a speak and spell. Why would you put F you? How old were you? Why would you?
Because it would say whatever you said.
Oh no, I know, but I wouldn't. What kind of kid were you? I didn't swear or put swears.
What do you mean you didn't swear as a kid? I had a rotten mouth.
Not at all.
Yeah,
we weren't allowed to swear.
I swore like it was something. I swore like it was like I was doing something terribly bad.
You're
I'd
Canadian,
slip them into
for
things.
Christ's sakes. You're not
I
supposed
know.
to be the ones
Yeah, but you
with
just gotta say
swearing.
sorry.
Oh, that's true.
You just gotta say sorry after you swear. Then you say sorry. You're like, listen, you're an asshole. Sorry. The guy's like, well, okay, well, I am, and he did say sorry, so I'm thinking I'll be okay with this one.
Thanks for that follow, Pox.
Yeah. What kind of a kid were you?
Right.
But that is the mood for a Canadian, is it not?
I don't know. I'm not Canadian.
Sorry?
You're the
telling
Canadian.
You're telling me you were a pleasant child growing up.
Oh no, I
You
was a
did not
complete
swear.
asshole, but I wasn't swearing at anybody.
What were you doing then?
Oh, I don't know, just being a complete dick. I mean, I was.
Were you mumbling it under your breath?
No, I didn't swear. I didn't swear. I mean, I wasn't a good kid. I was self-righteous, and I thought that I was the smartest kid in every room, and I was probably a little monster, but I wasn't swearing at anybody. I remember one time this kid wanted to get me in trouble at camp, and I forget how old I was. I think I was in first grade, and we were at camp, and he said I was flipping kids the middle finger, but I didn't know what the middle finger was. So when my camp counselor came to me and was like, well, you keep flipping everybody the bird, giving them the middle finger, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like trying to have a conversation with me, but I didn't know what he was talking about. This little head kid tried to get me in trouble.
As he swears now.
Tried to get me in trouble, but I didn't know what that was. And then I remember another bully of mine, this kid Kevin, who I got back. He tried to get me in trouble with the principal, saying that he beat me up because I said I called somebody a bad word, and the principal was told me said to me, well, you called somebody that, and I'm like, what is that? I didn't know what the word was. I was in second grade, and I didn't know what the word was, and he legitimately got the impression I didn't know what the word was, had never used it, had never heard it before. It had never been uttered in my presence, so I obviously didn't know what the hell was going on. And this little bag over here is just trying to get me in trouble. Needless to say, he kicked me. He did get me in trouble. I got suspended in second grade because of him. That kid followed me too. Yeah, and that kid got his when I became head caddy at the golf course. And that kid, well, he let himself go. And he was trying to make fun of me in front of everybody else. And he was like, yeah, remember that time I beat you up in front of the whole school in second grade? And I was like, yeah. And then I punched him.
we used to just the middle finger thing. Well, we used to sit. Our dad would take us in his station wagon, and of course, we're sitting backwards, facing the opposite way. Me and my sister used to play this game. We used to give other people driving by the finger, so that my dad would they would drive up next to my dad and give my dad the dirtiest look. So we would try to see how many people and how many reactions we could get as a kid. I just remember my mom losing her shit, turning around, being like, "Quit it! You're gonna get your dad injured. Someone's gonna ram us. Someone's gonna ram us, Mom."
Is that what Mom was worried about as a kid? That somebody was gonna ram you?
That's all that Mom was worried about. She was like, "Someone's gonna ram us off the road. Who's gonna ram us off the road?" We're like 6 and 10. Give him the finger. You know what? Give him the finger to everybody.
I remember my favorite lie. My favorite lie was a camp counselor one time didn't want us to run, and it was raining, and we were all like 5 or 6 years old. This is the same camp counselor, by the way, who was trying to tell me what this was, and he told us, and it made sense to me at the time. He goes, "If you don't run, less raindrops will hit you."
What? Wait, hold on a second. I have thought about this for fucking ages. I'm not even joking. I thought about this a week ago, man. I ran from the truck into work, and I said to myself, "You're my boy. Less rain is hitting me. Please explain this to me. Tell me now."
Yeah,
Do it.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
I'm
More
Googling it.
rain definitely hits you. But you know, it was brilliant to him because I learned from him how to mess with kids when I became a camp counselor. Because there was this one kid, man, who would always ask to go to the bathroom, always asked to go to the bathroom over and over and over again. And this kid was so annoying, but he wasn't a bad kid, but he was also a little bit off. So if you wanted to give him a little bit to think about, you know, just kind of put him in this place because you were trying to take care of the other 35 kids that you're in charge with, I would do something along these lines. He'd be like, can I go to the bathroom? And I'd go, no. And he'd be like, what? Can I go to the bathroom? I'm like, I said yes.
Thank you, sir.
Go
Do you
ahead.
want to know how mental the world is? I just Googled run or walk in the rain.
Yeah.
And it says, if the rain is towards your front or directly overhead, then running the faster, the better. But if the rain is on your back, you should somehow run with the rain with speeds equal to its horizontal velocity.
No, God.
I'm in a glass case of emotions right now.
There's so much to unpack there. I just really, what the internet exists to just share stupidity. Here's some stupidity. Have it. Here you go.
My mom told me never to stand or walk on a handicapped spot that's painted on the ground.
Why is that?
And I'm not even joking. And if you did, you had to say Nick's Nick.
Okay.
Like that's so superstitious. To this day, I will not stand or walk across a handicapped sign painted on the ground in a parking lot. I will walk over it. And the funny thing is, my daughter, we'll be walking, going out for a family walk, and she'll be like, Dad, don't you dare step on the cracks. Don't you dare. And that's so funny that we adopt these things. Like, I didn't tell her ever, don't step on the cracks.
But in her mind, that's something that...
In her mind, it's a negative. Don't do it.
I used to work with a lead singer for a band. I was a personal assistant and tour manager for this guy for years. And he had a thing, and he kept it very, very quiet. But he had a thing with colors, and he liked to count things as well. And I knew this because we were with each other 24/7. And so one day he was trying to give me shit in a green room. He was uncomfortable about something that was going on, and he wanted me to take care of it, and I had already taken care of it. And he was giving me shit, and he goes, well, you need to do that. And I look at him, I go, how many ceiling tiles, asshole? He goes, 273, but fuck you. Because I knew the whole time we were sitting in that green room, he had counted all the ceiling tiles above us, all above us, and he was so mad but I stopped him dead in his tracks, man.
The best thing is, it's such a shame spiral for him.
Yeah.
Inside he's just like, damn it.
Damn it, you got
Damn
me,
it,
man.
he knows. Yeah, he knows. But we do. We do mental things like that.
You do,
like,
though.
you know, like, or you just kind of, you get in your own head. And like, how you count the stairs in your house. You count the stairs in your house. You go down the stairway a certain way. Yeah, as a kid, I used to always jump off the last 3 steps. And you know what I mean? Like, it was just you had a way of doing things. And you never really seemed to break them. But when you did break them, it felt like the world was coming apart. It did. Like, oh my God. I just, you ever move rooms as a kid in your house?
Yeah. Well, we moved a lot, so I didn't have to deal with that, but I do know what you're talking about.
I remember as a kid, one time we had this unfinished basement, and I said to my parents, I was like, I want to move into the basement. My mom's like, you won't want to be down there. It's unfinished. I'm like, no, I want my independence. I want to be down there. My
Give me
dad's
the
like,
basement. I could have girls down there and soda pop.
Like, and and so the whole time I'm like, yeah, no, this is good. This is good. So, okay. So my dad's like, what? I'm not moving. I'm not moving your bed back up here. If I do this, that's what it is. So we move the bed, we move everything downstairs. First night, okay, go down the stairs. As soon as I hit the basement, it's concrete.
Yeah.
Then
Cold.
there's an
It's
area.
scary.
Then there's an area rug.
Yeah.
And I'm staring above me. So the first night is all about being on a desert island for the first time. You're trying to learn how to survive in your new habitat.
And you can't go back upstairs because you can't show your dad, like, you got to man up on this one.
So I'm looking up, and if you ever looked up in an unfinished basement, you have all your trusses,
Right.
and then there's cables that go through your trusses, your power, your stuff like that. And I remember seeing a spider, or seeing something like it looked like a web, and all I could think was a spider's gonna come down and go into my mouth. So now it's my first night down there. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible. Now I found some cardboard to put up on the ceiling now, so it doesn't get at me. The spiders, right? But now I have to figure out how I'm gonna fasten this to the roof. So I'm thinking that I'm being super quiet, but the only thing I could find is this. You've seen a staple gun?
Of course.
So as a young child, you don't really have a lot of strength. So when that first staple goes off, I'm holding the board with my left hand, the cardboard. I've got the stapler in my right hand. I'm trying to squeeze this thing. The staple comes shooting out in a furious blaze. The stapler goes flying out of my hand. It hits the ground. It makes a clang clang because it's cement. Clang clang clang, fucking everywhere. And then my dad comes downstairs. There's a piece of cardboard ripped hanging from the ceiling. A stapler's on the fucking ground. I'm laying on the ground looking up, and my dad's like, so tomorrow I guess we're moving you back upstairs. Like, for fuck's sake.
Clang, clang goes the trolley!
Yeah. So like, and that's the shit we put our family, our parents through. Well, you woke up, you woke up, and you just rinse, wash, and repeat every day, and found new ways to just drive them nuts.
Well, you know, I got a gerbil, right, or a hamster or whatever as a gift. We brought it home, took it out. The damn thing bit me, drew blood. Never played with that damn thing again. It was a terrible thing. At some point, the thing must have died. Because I didn't see it anymore, and my dad convinced me that it escaped, you know, that the hamster escaped. And then he figured I would just forget about it, right? But he didn't take the hamster cage. So every day I come home and I'm looking at this empty hamster cage, right? I'm not gonna forget about the hamster, Dad. So I was like, I was like, Dad, what happened? And he's like, you know, he found another hamster, you know, and he ran off, and they're gonna live like a nice hamster life.
That's your punishment. Every time you do something wrong, your dad just brings the hamster cage out and puts it on your desk in your room.
But I'm you know, I'm like, where'd the hamster go? He's like, oh, you know, no, the damn thing was dead. The damn thing was dead, and here I have an empty hamster cage, but I don't want another hamster because the last one bit me anyways, so I don't want the hamsters. I had an empty hamster cage for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. We had a rabbit. I'm sure I told you this, but the rabbit lasted a week. We had a red fence. My dad made an outside pen. It was nice. It was elevated above the ground. My dad's super smart dude, so he engineered it so when the rabbit pooped, it fell through the grate. Jesus. It fell into like a trough, into a bucket.
That's
so he
awesome.
didn't, you know what I mean? Like, it was great. But we came outside.
Dad.
I know, check out the big brain on. So we go outside one morning, and I'm not lying. Remember, the fence is red. The rabbit ejaculated all over the fence. And I didn't know what it was when I was a kid.
But why? What did that rabbit?
We don't know.
Was the fence?
I have no idea.
Did the rabbit have a thing for cosplaying fences? Like, what's the?
100% true story. My dad instantly was like, "We got to get rid of this rabbit." Got rid of the rabbit. Took the cage part and everything like that, and painted the fence. But I'll tell you right now, you could always see the silhouette of what used to be where the rabbit was. Like, I'm telling you. Ask my dad. I'll get him on here one day to legitimately checkmark that story. It's 100% true.
I don't think you're lying, because who would come up with a story like that? I mean,
where
in the back of your brain do you go, oh, you know what story I'm gonna wow the girls with? my bunny ejaculation story. That's what's gonna get me laid.
But I just, the messed up thing was, like, I just couldn't believe to think that would be the way that I lost my rabbit.
Well, you know,
most people lose their rabbits the other way.
They live for like 18 years, man, or it's like 20 years. Rabbits live forever. You buy a girl a rabbit. Guess what happens when you go off when that kid goes off to college? You're having rabbit.
You keep the rabbit.
You're having rabbit soup, man. You're having rabbit soup because
You get 2 new keychains.
that rabbit. Yeah, you got two new keychains for you and 2 new keychains for the nephews. You know.
You send those to your kid that left for college.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Here you go.
You're gonna need it.
You come home. She comes home. The rabbit cage is empty as a reminder. You know,
sitting
It's
on the
just
desk.
an empty rabbit cage sitting on the desk.
Yeah.
Where'd the rabbit go? I don't know, but we're having stew for dinner.
Yeah, you're smiling. Look what Grandpa taught me.
Yeah.
This is how you
Do
torment
you know
your
how to
kids.
skin a rabbit? Well, I wish you did.
Like I said, so circling back everybody to what today's topic was just about growing up. And it was about all the fun things that we used to do and the things that we used to, how culture has changed so much, but at the same time, we grow up acting the same. We never change our thoughts. Our kids seem to adopt what we do. And that's the cool part because my kids are doing it now. I won't be getting a rabbit, I'll tell you that.
No.
But no, there'll be no rabbits in this household. But there will be a lot of other little fun things that we're going to do. I want to thank, we're coming to the end of the show here for you guys. We only do about an hour to an hour and a half show here. It is available on Spotify. We do post this video to multiple places. You can see it here on Logan Radio Rocks on as a replay. You can see it on houseofhydra.com. You can also check it out on Spotify under Player 1 versus Player 2 and through both of our Discords. You guys just need to be following everything that we're up against and we're doing. What I also want to say is we do have, like I said, we are doing a podcast every second week. We thank you guys for being with us and letting us try out new things. We're obviously still getting our footing, but we're super happy with the results and the people that show up. We're really trying to make it fun. So I think we're going to go into a couple things, which is number one, let's thank our sponsors. My sponsors are Mega Cat Studios, Pixlr, and I have a new one coming up right away that I'll let you guys know about. And Logan, who did you want to thank tonight?
I always want to thank Impulse Esports and freaking Control Freaks. You know what? I thank you. I don't care. They're not. You know what? Thank you.
Well,
thank you for being here, and thank everybody else. I want to thank my sponsors until they start forking over the big money. I call sponsorship at this level right now where I am in my life. I call it passive sponsorships because the only people that are giving me any kind of cash is when people like you guys go out there and hit the links. So it's not the actual people. It's not the actual like sponsors giving me money. It's everybody who's watching the streams. Those guys are the ones that are going out and making the sponsors have to give me money. So you know what? Thank you to you guys for scrolling to the About Me section and clicking on the links. That's what, you know what? You guys are my sponsors. Anybody else that I name, that's just for them. That makes money for them. I'd rather say thank you to you guys. Also, don't we have a new game coming up soon that we're gonna need people for?
We do have a new game coming up. So we're gonna do one more podcast in 2 weeks from now. That podcast, we're gonna throw out some spoilers for you guys. So we're not gonna tell you what it's gonna be about yet. You're gonna see that pop up through the Instagram, through the Discord. But we're also gonna be doing a trivia podcast. So this is a fun one. We're not doing them all the time. It's usually after a few shows, we'll break it up. What we're going to be looking for is we're going to do a couple little contests between next show and we're going to be talking about how a couple teams to get in here. So what we're looking for is people that we see that are here, obviously in the chat, are able to get first dibs on there. There's going to be a few Easter eggs out there of other ways to get in. You're looking for, you guys can rock in as teams of 2 if you'd like, and we're looking for about 3 teams. Is it 3 or 4? Was it 4 teams we're doing?
I don't know. Is it?
I say we do 4. That way we could have a head-to-head bracket on each side with the questions.
I thought it was 3 teams because we were going to do it once a month.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. 3 teams. Okay, we could do it 3. 3 seems good. So we'll do it 3 teams, and then we'll be making the trivia questions, and then you guys will be here in the chat. We're going to have some fun. We're going to pop up there's going to be everything that you can think about. stuff from our childhoods, nostalgic stuff, all the way up to even some, late pre-COVID. No, nothing COVID related. We're not doing anything COVID related. We're gonna just cancel this section out. We're gonna forget all about it, and we're gonna go right to the time where it was all 90210 Melrose Place. Wait, hold on. What era was that?
That was the 90s.
Was that the late 90s though?
I don't know.
I like late 90s.
I was in
seems to be
junior
quite
high.
the winner.
Hold on, let me think about it. I was in junior high when Dylan's father got blown up. I was in 8th grade. So yeah.
How do you remember that?
Because Matt Morrow, the toughest kid in school, he watched that episode.
And did he get sad?
No, I don't know. I just remember. I don't know. I remember us talking about it, and me thinking to myself, "Wow, the toughest kid in the school watches 90210." That's how I remember that. You asked me how I remember that. That's how I remember it.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with it. And we do have an Urban Dictionary today that we got for you guys. The Urban Dictionary, the saying is "ghost cheeks." This is when you sit down on the toilet and you can feel the warmth of the previous occupant's butt cheeks. Ghost cheeks.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
You've never done that? You've never went into a bathroom?
I've done it before, but I don't have that problem as an adult because my toilet seat's heated. My toilet seat's always warm. Yeah, man.
You have a heated toilet seat?
I have a heated bidet as well, and it also puts warm air to dry off my fanny as well. I'm an adult, man.
The things you learn is about your friends.
You know what I mean? Everybody should have a bidet. Literally, the cheap model, the standard model for a bidet that will go onto your existing toilet costs $35, and you will never feel cleaner. You just won't.
Do you feel like that's when did you get one of those? Sorry, I'm going off the topic here.
About 6 years ago. I was using wet wipes and stuff like that, which I thought was like a real revelation when I transitioned to using both toilet paper and wet wipes. I was like, wow, this is great. And then I found out, I read an article, those things aren't meant to be used on your buttocks like that all the time. You're not supposed to do that all the time as an adult. So I was like, all right, you're not supposed to do that all the time, but I'm still going to do it all the time because guess what? I feel pretty clean. What's the alternative? And the alternative, my buddy goes, is a bidet. And what do you know? $35 later, I set up a bidet, and you know what? I bought a big, Costco or whatever, BJ's, whatever big brand store. I bought one of those big things of toilet paper. It lasts me 1.5 years.
Really?
Yep. Because I'm only using a few. I'm just making sure that there's nothing hanging out down there. I'm getting warm water, some warm air after that, and then I'm just making sure. Most of the time, I don't even need to, but you kind of want to make sure.
I kind of like where you're going with this. This has opened up my eyes.
Trust me, man. You'll thank me. It really, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. You feel clean. You just it comes down to I remember Howard Stern did this big thing on. He used to get hemorrhoids all the time, and his doctor told him it was because of he was using toilet paper that had dyes in it. And they don't make toilet paper, I don't think, with dyes in it anymore. But when I'm getting down to it, wouldn't you just rather have some clean water?
Well, I would.
Yeah,
I would.
Just a much better experience.
It just seems like something that just the high society would have. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I think $35 is high society, but for some reason, or French, if you will.
Well, I mean, it is a bidet. It's a French word, and most of Europe does well. And I don't know exactly why Europeans do this, but they had shitty plumbing over there for still to this day. So they didn't want to be flushing a lot of stuff down the toilet. So this was one way to make sure that you were clean.
Huh. Well, I think we can end on that.
Yeah, there you go. Bidets. Get one.
Bidets.
Hey, make your day a bidet.
Make your day a bidet. Thanks for listening, everybody, today. And we're going to see you back here in 2 weeks again. Watch out for the spoilers and everything coming up right away. Trivia coming in 4 weeks from now. So make sure you're watching to get a part of the trivia there. Slash, thanks for coming. Smasher, and also you do. Thank you for helping us out with the stream here and being a part of it. To really good looking people that we'd love to say thank you to. And everybody else that came and stuck around with us and watched. This Spotify podcast link will be available next Sunday. We always release them the Sunday after. So you guys will be able to get it there. That is the original podcast, number 1 there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I'm going to let Logan take us out of here.
Oh, you know what? Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie.